Hello, ladies, and welcome to today's episode of Empowering Women with Celeste. And today I want to talk to you about something that, personally to me, has been a huge part of my life and probably to a lot of you as well. And you probably don't even know that you're doing it consciously. Maybe you do know, and maybe sometimes you don't know. This punishing ourselves when we have made a mistake. It could be when you're working on your job, at school, wherever you are, and you made a mistake. It could also be you ate something you shouldn't. You're on a diet and you kind of sinned a little bit. Or anything that you did something you shouldn't have, and then you punish yourself for doing it. And that can look very differently. So to me, it's like if I made a mistake at work, or if I'm afraid of making a mistake at work, I work even harder. I try even harder. I always do my best, but I do like everything I possibly can to correct that mistake or to not make it at all if I'm afraid of making it. Or if I ate something I shouldn't have or ate too much and I feel bad, I punish myself by walking or doing a really hard workout because I feel bad, or I sometimes, to the point where I feel sick, and then I kind of have to punish myself in some way. If it's like failing, you failed, you did something wrong. It could be like you're telling yourself, I'm stupid. I'm so stupid. Why am I so stupid? Why do I keep doing this? Or I'm never good enough. I can't do that. It always comes like this, and you're banging yourself in the head. That's the feeling, and I guess you know what I mean when you're kind of hammering your head. That's what we call it where I come from. And you are kind of punishing yourself with all of these thoughts and negative emotions because you did something that was wrong or considered wrong. But in reality, the thing is, and you already know this, that nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes, and mistakes cannot be avoided. They are there for a reason, and they are there because there's something we have to learn, or because it just kind of happened. It had to happen. So we know this, and yet we still punish ourselves for whatever it was that we did. And so we do it for a reason. The good thing about it is that we don't forget. We hit ourselves in the head so we don't forget it to next time. So we remember that, oh, I did this mistake, so I'm not going to make it again. To make up for making a mistake, kind of like I'm hurting myself to make up for a mistake I made, and kind of even out, if you can say that, the negative with something else that is negative. And I know at least some of us do. And I think it comes back to this programming that we learned when we grew up. When you made a mistake, you were yelled at. Your parents told you you made a mistake, and maybe they even said to you, like, how can you be so stupid? Or you just had the feeling that, oh my God, how could I be so stupid? Because you feel like you should have known that. At least that's how I often feel, like people expect me to know certain things, and then when you make the mistakes because you didn't know, they're like, how could you not know? And I'm like, well, how could I know? But that's just some of the ways that it kind of it comes up. So yeah, definitely a lot of how you grew up has an effect on how do you feel about mistakes. If you grew up with parents who were like very, can we say, kind to you when you made a mistake and said, oh, that's okay, we just try again, or oh, that's great, like some people like, yes, you made a mistake, so now you're learning something, or something like in a more positive tone, you might not feel this. But if you're listening to this, I guess it's because you do know this, and because you're doing some of these things that I mentioned before. And why would we stop that? So, well, we have to stop it because first, it's not helping you. Yes, maybe the more you punish yourself, the better you remember it until, the next time it comes up and you're like, oh, I remember I did that mistake. But it's still not sustainable, kind of. It makes you feel worse the more you kind of hit yourself in the head, and you can spend like days if it's something really big, like you could spend days or weeks like blaming yourself for making that mistake and not kind of letting yourself go from that mistake. People often do that very, very, other people do that very quickly. Yes, you made a mistake and then it's out of the world. At least that's how I have experienced it. But I found it very hard to let myself go from that mistake. I kept punishing myself for weeks, for days. And sometimes there are some things where when I think about them, I still kind of blame myself for it even years later. So that's some stuff to work on. And that's why also again we want to release them, because it's not good for you, it's not helping you. If you do it like really, really bad, it can turn into sickness, because your emotions stagnate in your body, and then they can turn into sickness. And it just doesn't feel great. You cannot live your life feeling joyful and present and all of these things that we want and we should, when we keep blaming ourselves and shaming ourselves for these things that we did in the past. So it's another thing about other people, so I'm going to cover that in a different video. Right now I'm talking about you, me, myself, and I. How do you treat yourself? How do you speak to yourself when you made a mistake? Are you like, oh, well, okay, sure, let's move on? Or are you, oh my God, I did it again. Oh my God, how could I do it again? Oh, I'm so stupid. And just maybe it's because I'm tired, and so on. How do you talk to yourself? How do you feel about making mistakes and failing? That's something I want you to journal on if you want to get deeper on that, and if you actually want to release it. Write it down. What happens? What do you think? How do you feel? What is going on in your body? Notice what is happening. Do you start to feel hot and sweaty, and you get like, whew? Or what's going on? Maybe you feel anxious and you feel like shrinking down and you feel like hiding and running away and never talk to this person again. What comes up? All right. So, how to stop it? So I want to give you a few reasons or examples that I came up with to kind of stop it. Is to, first of all, change your focus, because Tony Robbins says this: where focus goes, energy flows. And it's true. What you focus on is what you will see more of, what you'll get more of. So if you keep these negative thoughts, you keep beating yourself up, then you get a negative reaction somehow, like sickness, or you just have a bad day and someone yells at you and you become unfriends with someone because you felt bad and you were in this state. If you change it, if you can change your thoughts into more positive ones and release this beating yourself up and this shame and blame feeling around making mistakes, around having done this that wasn't very good for you or for someone else, even like hurting someone else. If it's about hurting someone else, it's just apologizing, say, hey, I really regret doing that. I wish I hadn't done that, and then move on from that. Like, what can I do? Apologize and saying you're sorry, and then move on. Maybe it will work out, maybe it won't. But that's kind of the way to, at least I believe, go about it. Focus on the positive. Focus on the things that you are good at, maybe. If it's, I like to do this changing areas. So if there's certain areas where I feel very confident in, where I feel good about it and I don't mind making mistakes. And then there are areas of my life where I feel less confident. I feel less prone to making mistakes. So if you can shift that, if you can take that feeling, that experience, and kind of move it to this other area of your life, that will help you very much. And I have a meditation for you that will help you do this. So when you've listened to this video, go to that and I will help you find that state of mind, find that energy, and then you just practice bringing it into these other areas of your life. And of course, again, focus on the positive thoughts. Focus on, okay, I made a mistake, but I'm still okay. Like, I'm worthy. I'm still good at this. Or maybe if it's a smaller mistake, you know that, okay, it was a one-time thing. I already knew this. It just slipped my mind, so I know it's not gonna happen again. So that's okay. Like, it was one of those things where you're like, it's gonna happen. It happens sometimes, and that's just it. So you just release it, let it go, and leave it. That is the trick to this. So these thoughts, as much as you can, bring these thoughts into your mind, into your body, into your energy of, I'm good enough, I'm worthy, I love myself, I am loved. All of these, whatever resonates with you and makes you feel okay. Like, I'm okay, I'm gonna be okay. Even if someone else feels like wants to kind of keep blaming you and making you take this mistake on you, put it on you, you don't have to. You can just say, okay, well, yes, I made it, but that's okay. I'm okay. Some people get stunned, like when you do that, when you don't put it on you. You don't have to. Of course, if it's something personal, and you can say, hey, I'm really sorry about that, and then that's it. You don't have to do more. You don't have to beat yourself up about it even more. You just say, look, I'm really sorry. Can you forgive me? And whether they will or not, you're gonna be okay. You are okay. It is okay. Okay. And so the other one, the second trick, is to celebrate. Actually celebrate your mistakes, or celebrate that you learned something. So celebrate that you forgot this thing, or that, because then you learned something, or you didn't know how to do this, so you ended up making mistakes, and then someone told you, hey, this is how you do this. Great, I learned something. How can you celebrate? Just say, what you can do just in your energy, say, oh my God, wow, I made a mistake. That's great. I learned something. that little thing can actually be a big thing for changing your energy and changing how you feel in yourself and how you feel about yourself. Okay, so celebrate these lessons that you learn in life from other people, from situations, from work. Celebrate them, because it's 10 times better than beating yourself up in any way, in any case. So don't worry, you won't forget them. You don't have to beat yourself up to remember it. You can let it go, release it, and say, okay, I made a mistake, but I'm still good enough. I'm still okay. I'm loved, I'm safe, I'm wanted. And then just live in the moment, because that's where all the magic happens. And that's where we manifest, and so on and so on. So, yes, that was today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like. Give me a comment on how this helped you, or if you resonated with any of this. Share with someone you feel or think might benefit from it and kind of feel this way. Head on to the meditation, and I'll see you in the next episode. Have an amazing day. Bye.